Hey, what's going on, everyone? Again, this is Nick with Mammoth Training Solutions. I'm also the owner of Mammoth Distributing. Happy Friday, although my friend today said, hey, every day is a happy day, right? So we should just come in every day going, hey, happy day to everybody, because if you love what you do, you really never work a day in your life. So today we're going to talk about 3 questions every salesperson should ask before they do a presentation, okay? It's really important that you look for the pain, you ask about pain. If you can't solve a problem, you shouldn't be selling anything. Fair? So, and that is true for every kind of sales, whether you're selling cars, whether you're selling a service, SaaS, a widget, whatever it is. Your customer should have a problem that you need to solve. And as a salesperson, if you want to get really, really good at it, you get really good at solving problems and looking for problems. And sometimes clients don't even know they have. So today, 3 questions everybody should ask before they present a solution. All right, question number 1. All right, what is the problem that is so frustrating in your business that if we could solve it today, you would work with me? Okay, customers have problems. We all have issues in our businesses, whether we like to admit it or not, right? I work with a lot of business owners that don't want to admit they have problems, but when you start asking these type of questions, you start to find the deeper problem. Remember yesterday, okay, the Mammoth sales process. First part is third part, mine for pain, right? After you align and agree, you mine for pain. When you're mining, you're digging deeper. Whoop, hold on. Pause for 1 second. You're digging deep, okay? When you mine for pain, you're not scratching the surface. Okay, if you scratch the surface, you're going to get surface level problems that are never valuable enough for the customer to actually want to take action on them. Okay, but when you dig deep, you find the problems that the customer really wants to solve, and those are valuable, right? You got to know those things. So focus on the pain before the product, obviously. Listen more than you talk. This is really important. So there's something called the 70-30 rule. I want you all to write that down, okay? 70-30 rule. That rule says that the salesperson should listen 70% of the time and talk 30% of the time. Why does that matter? People don't want to hear about you, okay? When you're prospecting for business, they don't care what you have to say. They care about their problems. So if you start listening and asking questions, you can get that problem coming out, get those emotions coming out, and then figure out whether or not you're really a fit. There's another note here. Not every prospect, number 1, deserves to be a client. Number 2, not every solution that you have serves every customer in the world. Okay, stop being arrogant, folks. Your problem doesn't solve, or your solution doesn't solve everybody's problem. And even if it did, if they don't self-discover that, it doesn't really matter, okay? So, and then the deeper the pain, the more valuable the solution. It's really important to know that. Like I said, surface level, okay, equals cheap, all right? Deep equals value. Okay, if you can find the deeper problem, your customer will be much more apt to want to solve that problem. Okay, question number 2. This is really important, and this is one that hardly anybody ever wants to ask. When you talked to other customers about solving, or other companies rather, about solving this problem, what made you continue looking for other solutions? Okay. This does 2 things. Number 1, you don't want to assume you're the only person they're talking about or talking to about solving this problem. That would be really arrogant and foolish, okay, as a salesperson. And salespeople, for some reason, most of us, when we start out, we think that we have to be everybody's solution. We have to, everybody has to talk to us about the problem. No, that's not true. The fact of the matter is, if you didn't cold call this person, especially if this person is calling you, there's a high likelihood you are not the first person they've talked to about their problem, okay? So you have to understand that. So find out why they weren't ready the first time. When they talked to another company, why didn't they pull the trigger with that company? What was it about the other solution that didn't fit your problem, okay? Very important question. Just discover where the others fell short, right? The deeper the pain, again, the more valuable the solution. Identify the opportunity that they presented that's different from the opportunity that you have. So this question uncovers what you call a competitive edge. It uncovers your competitive edge in that situation, okay? Because you can probe and find out all the things that the other company wasn't going to provide, now you automatically know when I do a presentation at this point, I know what my competitive edge is immediately. Okay. So when I address that in the presentation, it's solid. Okay. I've already thought through the other company's solutions. This is why our company is the best. Okay. Number 3, this one's one of the most powerful questions you can ask. Okay. If I could wave a magic wand and solve one thing about this area of your business, what would it be? This question really comes into play when you're prospecting, and the prospect is very hard. Well, we don't have any problems. We make all the money we need to make. Our products work fantastic. But I can tell you, by being a business coach for 3 years and doing sales for the last 12 years or 13 years now, that they have something in their business that can be better. All of us can grow. That's one thing you have to know as a salesperson. Every single person on the planet can grow and get better, to a little bit better tomorrow than they were today, right? So if you have to know that, and you have to be confident in the question of, hey, I'm glad you're doing everything. I'm glad everything's going awesome for you guys. That's really good to hear. Can I ask you one question? And when they say yes, give you permission, you just say, if I can wave a magic wand and fix anything in your business or with your business, your company, your people, what would it be? Okay. And usually if you've done enough listening and questioning, you ask that question, they're going to give you some kind of truth. Okay. So discover their highest priority. That's what it helps you do. It helps you discover the highest priority, because usually the highest priority when you're a salesperson and you're prospecting, the highest priority is going to be the hardest thing to uncover for the salesperson. Okay. Because the business owner is guarded. They don't know you, right? You build trust, credibility in the beginning, you build rapport, maximize rapport, but they still don't know you. They're still not doing business with you. So if they don't know you from Adam, the highest priority is going to be the hardest thing for you to find. Okay. Great questioning strategies is how you find that. Okay. Let them describe their ideal outcome. This is really important. So when you're selling, outcomes equal credibility. Okay. So if you can talk about outcomes that matter to them, you're going to have much more credibility. Anybody can sell something. Very few people can sell something, help implement, and then get them the outcome they're looking for. Okay, that's why so many SaaS products out there. You sign up for a subscription, then you realize what? Oh, it doesn't have this. You sign up for Paramount or something like that. It doesn't have this channel. That's the one channel you wanted, but you didn't know as a consumer, it didn't have that. So what do? Oh, you search another one, and then you find another one. You cut this one off. You add this one. This happens constantly in the world, and in business it happens as well, because people are rarely getting the outcomes that they thought they signed up for. This is really, really important. Okay. You have to ensure that your customer's expected outcome is what you're going to deliver. You have to be on the same page about that, because if the outcome doesn't happen, they're going to quit. Okay. Build your presentation around what matters most to them. Okay. When building a presentation, okay, just give you a little bit about the presentation here. Okay. Most presentations start with what? Rah-rah sessions about their company and how freaking great they are. Okay. Well, that's one way to do it. But another way to do it is, why don't you start with the pain in the industry that other companies are seeing? And then the last pain before you move into your company and what you do, right? The last pain in that slide or in that deck of slides right there should be their pain. That should be the last pain they see in the pain slides before you move on in the presentation. Why? Because they're going to remember that one. Oh, that's the one I identify with. Now we roll into, how do we start talking about our company solving the problem? Okay. But again, questions you should ask. Really, really important to ask these 3 questions. Okay. Also, I want to let you know, people don't buy the presentation. They don't buy the product. They buy the solution, and they buy you. Okay. They buy the people they're talking to and they're interacting with. Okay. So your product is not going to sell itself. I don't care how good your product is. I sell great products too. None of them sell themselves, folks. You got to go sell the product. And remember, you got to solve problems for your prospects, for your clients. Okay. So anyways, again, I'm Nick. This is just about 15 minutes every day. I come on here, I go live. I just want to give you guys tips, tricks in sales, business, hiring, many different aspects of business. I want to do that for you guys every single day. This is free. Again, I'll be here every weekday. So I'll be back Monday and 10:30 Mountain Time till 10:45. So if you have any questions, you want to reach out, or if your team is struggling, with closing deals, with building presentations, there's a company that you've been trying to sell and you haven't been able to close the deal, you can get a hold of me at 208-741-9023. Love to talk with you, or jump on my website, mammothtrainingsolutions.com. You can download my free ebook, as well as you can just sign up for more information. We'll get on a call, do a little strategy session, and see if it's a fit to work with you. So anyways, y'all have a great weekend. I hope this helps you. Share it with your salespeople. I think they'll be better for it. Have a good one.